28-year-old Wang Yibo's multi-disciplinary wings rocked the entertainment industry. The lights were blinding, the trophy dazzled his eyes, but Wang Yibo simply uttered, "Thank you for all the nights you didn't give up." From the dance studio to the racetrack, knee braces worn out, drifting through injuries, he traded coffee breaks for training, raising the bar for the industry. He crossed boundaries, dismantled the stereotype of the traffic star, and made every breakthrough a breathtaking moment. The lights that day were so bright they didn't seem to illuminate the stage, but rather burned your eyes. The trophy shone so brightly that it was blinding, but Wang Yibo, standing in the center, didn't put on his usual "I've finally waited for this day" act. Instead, he simply said, "Thank you for all the nights you didn't give up." He then took home 5 records for a single Asian Film Award. If you'd actually seen him filming Hot, where he spent 3 months struggling with the same routine, his knee brace ripped to a flake, and he continued dancing despite the pain of an old injury, you'd understand that this ruthlessness has nothing to do with popularity. It's more like the stubborn temper of a young man in martial arts training. When others drank water, he'd practice more. When others cried out in pain, he'd try again. My attention to him didn't begin on the podium, but on the China GT circuit. That year, it rained in Shanghai, and the track was as slippery as a freshly mopped floor. On the 4th lap, the rear end suddenly swung halfway out, and I could already picture the sound effect of it crashing into a wall. The next second, he yanked the steering wheel with his left hand, gripped the gear lever with his right, and forcibly pulled the car back on track, sprinting towards the finish line. When he took off his helmet, his forehead was covered in small marks of sweat and blood, and there was a band-aid he'd forgotten to remove. This scene is more real than any commercial, because it offers the quiet pause after the audience draws a breath, making you feel your heart slam on the brakes. When it comes to advertising, the treatment he receives from major brands goes beyond mere favor. One year, he simultaneously secured global endorsement for Chanel, Los annual spokesperson, and the global launch for Lacoste. This, in the luxury world, is the equivalent of 3 concubines crowned simultaneously in palace dramas. Shouldn't you believe these brands are wary of each other, yet they're willing to allow an Asian artist to appear in various shows? Seeing him at Paris Fashion Week in a black sequined jacket and Doc Martens boots was an awkward sight, like a street scene transported to the palace. Yet, foreign media outlets preferred to write about him using terms like Asian faces tear apart, a century of aesthetic hegemony. I particularly enjoyed his first Chanel ad. It had 0 lines, relying solely on his eyes to sell the same style a new way for top stars. No noise, no virality, but a direct slap in the face of those who only care about hype. If you only looked at his track record, you might think he was on a roll. But back then, no one imagined that the unknown 13-year-old who went to Korea as a trainer would make it this far. While others dance 3 times and call it a day, he insists on doing it 30 times straight. He holds onto the bar to complete his routines despite a high fever, and he trains even with bruises all over his knees. Wang Hong once publicly praised him, saying he wasn't a genius, but rather a natural talent, grappling with it bit by bit to raise the industry standard. Thinking of this background, and then looking at his composure on the podium today, an implicit weight is added. It's a result of hard work, not a smooth road. Another story in the entertainment industry is the complete opposite. Some young actors film for months without seeing their directors, appear on variety shows as background material, and busily buy press releases to create an image of dedication. Their fans streamline data and are singled out for official reprimands. Wang Yibo, on the other hand, secluded himself for 6 months, repeatedly practicing his expressions for pantomime roles, unafraid of a stiff face, which makes him stand out. He truly trades coffee breaks for training time, squeezing every minute on the road to work into juicy results. Whether it's a Habio Award nomination or a racing theme song, it all stems from this same unwavering dedication. This model is like pulling the plug on those who thrive on hype, because it deprives them of the one thing they do best, grabbing the microphone and generating buzz. Some ask, is all this hard work really worth it? There's no Santa Claus in the adult world. Every breakthrough is achieved through personal effort. If someone else at their age had chosen comfort, they would likely have remained stuck in their comfort zone forever. Wang Yibo's crossover, from the racing track to the film set to the catwalk, not only refreshes his resume but also dismantles the public's stereotype of the so-called traffic star. I even think his path resembles a hybrid of athlete and artist. Both have their own challenges and consume each other's energy. However, this creates scarcity, explaining why Wang Yibo Racing, Wang Yibo Passion, and Wang Yibo Chanel consistently top the SEO search charts because cross-disciplinary success is inherently a scarce keyword. On his birthday this year, 327 cities around the world lit up their lights simultaneously. Ferris wheels played footage of his racing, and a giant screen by Westlake flashed the message 28 years old, still breaking boundaries. While it may seem dreamy at first, behind it lies a laundry list of charitable projects and a record of spontaneous fan donations. This aspect doesn't appear daily in the entertainment news, but it's quietly changing many young people's perceptions of idols. It turns out that fandom can be cool, heartwarming, and truly grounded, not just a perfunctory activity. This reminds me of other celebrities who, before engaging in charity work, must first schedule a photographer, arrange makeup, and then pose with pomp and circumstance to deliver supplies. Netizens can sometimes be like magnifying glasses, focusing on small details and ignoring the watermelon-scented dust in the yard. But when encountering someone down to earth, that impetuous air naturally dissipates, and people don't even bother to question it, because details are far more captivating than staged photos. Talking about Wang Yibo, I realize we are not just discussing one individual's extraordinary success in multiple fields, but rather a rare and sustained focus, and how it's forking an entire industry to redefine the definition of top stars. I wouldn't be surprised if another major label is secretly signing him in the future, because this type of person is always on the move. They don't give public warning, nor do they tell you their goals in advance. They just suddenly appear in an unfamiliar yet fitting position, catching you off guard and realizing, oh, a new chapter in the map has been rewritten. As for the next track or stage where I'll run into this familiar face, it's probably just a matter of luck, whether I'll just happen to catch a moment worth holding your breath.